If you're feeling stuck, you don't know what business to start, you don't know how to make more money, you're stuck in a dead-end job, you don't know what direction to take, you don't have anyone around you who's a mentor, who's hustling, who's grinding. I've been there, everyone around me was working jobs, not doing the entrepreneur thing, making enough money that was enough but not enough, right? You're always stressed about the waitress charging you for a ranch. That's how I grew up. I grew up in the middle class. And the middle class is you have enough to really, feed yourself, have a, lower middle class house. But like the neighborhood I live in and the life that I live, I realized really quickly, like, man, I'm not gonna get to the level of wealth that that really makes life fun working for somebody else. That I was like, you know what, man, I have to become an entrepreneur. And the hardest thing about that was when I realized that, I was like, man, everyone who's getting rich owns businesses. I was like, I got to figure out what I need to own. I got to figure out how to start a business. I got to find somebody out there who's doing it, who's willing to talk to me. I need a mentor. And it's so hard to find mentors because the successful people, usually people like me who run businesses, make a lot of money, they're untouchable. You can't find them. They're out there grinding. They're in, upper class neighborhoods. They're in upper class country clubs. So how does somebody who lives in the middle lower class, how do they get access to somebody who can tell them about a shortcut, to tell them how they did it, to explain to them that next step? Because, if you're like me in my life, the only encouragement you were given was, hey, go get a job, go find a good job, go work for somebody. And if you work hard enough, maybe, just maybe, you might get a bonus. Just maybe. The boss might look at you in favor, but usually that doesn't happen, does it? Usually what happens is you're promised something and then it never comes. Or you're overlooked for a job. You're overlooked, but you have it, and you know you would do a great job, but you keep getting turned down. Your family keeps telling you, stop with the entrepreneur dreams, stop with all that stuff, like you just need to go get a job. Like everyone who starts a business goes bankrupt. The people that you see successful, their parents gave it to them. I'll tell you right now, my parents didn't give me a dime, and I am very wealthy, okay, because I've seeked out mentors. When I was in college, I met this individual who changed my entire thinking. He changed the way I was thinking about stuff. And he goes, Nate, if you want to get rich, you got to be a business owner. And maybe that's not right now. Maybe it's not in 2 or 3 years, but you need to find a path to become a business owner. So in my industry, I own Wexford Insurance. I own an insurance agency, and we're in 39 states. We do mainly business insurance. I worked in the insurance industry for 6 to 7 years, learning what I needed to learn to start my business. But throughout that process, I had many mentors. I had a lot of people that gave me wisdom before I started my business. So I talked to a lot of people because I have a mentor relationship with a lot of young entrepreneurs that are wanting to start out. We had one individual that I've been talking to for like 9 months. He started a cleaning company. He doesn't do the cleans, he subs them out, and he makes about $12,000 to $15,000 a month. It's insane, So like there's a lot of success stories through mentorship that I was able to talk through the bumps, the speed bumps. Hey, avoid this, do that. Having a mentor makes a massive difference in your life. So how do you find a mentor? How do you find somebody, these untouchables, right? How do you find them? Well, the first and great resource is the channel you're on right now, YouTube, right? YouTube provides, even my channel, right? I have mentor calls, I have mentor relationships with people. I usually charge around $200 an hour, $100 for a call. So if it's under an hour, we could do $100. But, I do initial calls. I have an ongoing mentor relationship with people based on, different situations on the pricing. So I have a formal mentor program. But if you don't want to do that, and you're like, Nate, I don't have the money to do that, I don't know if I want to do that, I would challenge you and say, hey, if you're, you want to commit to something, but if you don't have it, you can get all my content for free. You can get all my videos, tons of videos, how to start certain businesses, how to do all these things for free. Everything on my channel is free. And there's a ton of other content creators out there that have channels that give away their content. So first off, you can go get free stuff, okay? If you want more specific, you want to actually have a relationship, you want to actually build something, at some point you are going to have to probably commit and buy something. One thing that I offer is I have a book on how I started my business, how I scaled it, how you can find a business idea for $5. My ebook is only $5, okay? For $5, you can read about my story, go through the specifics of how I found my business idea, how you can find a business idea that actually works, and get yourself to the next level for $5. I also have a course for $20. It's super in-depth on how you can get your business idea, how do you get it off the ground and running, how do you scale it. So it's even more in-depth than my book. My book, you're going to get a good summary, but if you really want to get there, the $20 course. And then if you want something 100% custom, that's where I have that mentor call and mentor relationship. So basically what I'm trying to say is if you need a mentor, I am here for you. If you don't want to use me, maybe you don't like what I'm saying, maybe you don't think I apply to what you're doing, I get it, man. The way to find a mentor is to look for somebody locally, or somebody that just asking who's rich in your family, who's rich, who's the richest person you know, dad, who's the richest person you know, mom, and then sitting down with them and saying, how did you do it? How do you manage your money? How can I get there? Reach out to business owners that are prominent in your little tiny town, your city. Reach out to people who on LinkedIn, who are CEOs. I remember I talked with a Fortune 500 CEO because I DM'd him on LinkedIn and he gave me some advice in the insurance industry, So it's like just random stuff. Guy didn't even charge me. I had a free call with him. If you put forth the effort, you can really get in front of people and they're going to give you some wisdom, some advice that's going to, you're going this way. They might say, hey, have you ever thought about shifting this way, right? There's so many different business ideas, business types that are deeper than the surface, right? So if I drive around, I'll see a lawn care company, a landscaping company. But what about business ideas that are deeper than that? There's one example in my industry is an insurance wholesaler. They work with insurance agents and insurance companies. Very niche business. You would not know about that business unless you were deep in that industry. So if you're able to talk to mentors who are deep in an industry, they will tell you about an opportunity that you didn't even know existed. It's about the opportunities that you don't know about are what the great business ideas are, and mentors will help you by uncovering those business ideas and figuring out what will work for you. So my question for you today is, who is going to be your mentor? Who's going to get you to that next level? Who's going to get you that next business idea that's going to give you the opportunity to create generational wealth, to become rich, become an entrepreneur? You need to find somebody today. And if you want to use me, I have several options. If you click the link below, you can look at how you can book a call, how you can buy my book, and how you could potentially buy my course if that's of interest. As always, please like and subscribe. Thank you.